Oh, hi everybody. Um, Today I'd like to talk about the following topic question. What is evil? In my opinion, evil is an absence of empathy. To be more specific, evil is an intentional action, an actual deed performed by a human which harms a person or any other living being, physically or emotionally, as a result of lack of empathy and compassion. Sadism is a variation of evil. It's not only cruelty and lack of empathy, but it's an enjoyment of inflicting pain on people or any other living being, living creatures. Um, Recently, I read somebody's thought about that. Interesting thought. He said, evil can mean something philosophically significant and nuanced. However, in everyday speech, it's usually a shorthand for referring to actions that are not in our interests or interests of the groups in which we belong. Of course, this term can have greater meaning, but people do not generally think about greater meanings, so it doesn't carry such meaning. Let me know in the comments what you think about this statement. I'd like to outline 3 examples of what we can call evil that I personally witnessed in real life and that are related to discrimination, as I strongly believe that any discrimination is evil. In advance, I'd like to mention I'm not biased toward any nation, social groups, religions, etc. Myself, I have 3 nationalities and I love everybody. First case, in one of my favorite YouTube channel videos with gypsy dancing, when I read comments below the video, something struck me. Somebody wrote, "I love and respect you people. I'm from Egypt. Hi from Egypt." The host of the YouTube channel asked, "Are you a refugee?" I will now tell you the dialogue between them, some of it, because I don't want to even read. It was too much unpleasant stuff was there, so I just chose a little some of it. He said, so she asked, "Are you a refugee?" He said, "Hey, sure, no, I work at the Central Bank of Egypt, Human Resources Development." "But why?" Host said. "Why do all Arabs flee to Europe and they behave disgustingly? It seems to me that people like you are doing the right thing, that they don't run to Europe, but live with themselves and do not impose their culture and religion. Soon all Arabs will be deported from Europe." The Egyptian man said, "Thank you for your opinion, but your opinion does not mean anything to me. I'm Egyptian, and I am proud of my country's civilization." Host said, "The pygmies are also proud to be able to eat their neighbor." Man, thank you and welcome, whatever you say. Okay. Second example. The Baku Program was a pogrom directed against ethnic inhabitants of Baku, a capital city of Azerbaijan, back in 1990. From January 12, 1990, 7-day pogrom broke out against the Armenian civilian population in Baku, during which Armenians were beaten, murdered, and expelled from the city. According to the Human Rights Watch reporter Robert Kirshen said, "The action was not entirely, or perhaps not at all, spontaneous, as the attackers had lists of Armenians and their addresses." In the apartment block where we lived at that time, on the 4th floor, one elderly Sikh lonely woman lived there. I remember she was a very ill woman. Sometimes her relatives visited her and helped her. I think she also had a mental disorder. She had an Armenian background. So during the pogrom times, a big group of Azerbaijani guys broke her doors and they dragged her out by force. She was screaming with agony that even her neighbors, who were adult men, couldn't handle it. Recently, I heard somebody told me, but it was a war. What do you expect? But does it justify this specific action towards this specific innocent woman? Third example. I will try to be quick and short. In Israel back in 1990, there was a hidden discrimination of people who immigrated there from the Soviet Union. My family paid rent to a woman who owned the apartment where we lived. We always paid our rent on time. My mother is a very, very diligent person. I do not remember all the details how now about the trigger of the anger from that Israeli woman. It was related to rent. I'm sure it was nothing to get angry about, but there is um, there is something I need to mention. My father was very sick at that time. He had brain cancer. He was lying on his bed. He couldn't even stand or sit at that time. Those were his last days. He was dying. She knew about it. She invaded in the apartment and was angry about us not paying rent on time at that specific time, but it was not true, knowing my mom. She was just looking for a reason to start an argument and to humiliate us. Humiliate us. She screamed in front of my dying father. Everyone in Israel hates Russians. A note. This is just an example of the situation with that particular Israeli woman. Of course, not Israelis think like that. And since 99, the whole situation might changed there. Please write your comment. What do you think? What is evil? Does evil exist? And thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.